Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker made its debut with its teaser trailer just 1 week ago over at Star Wars Celebration, and ever since then, a lot of people have been very curious about where things are going by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio to end the sequel trilogy and the entire Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about this film that a lot of people are very excited about is, of course, exactly how JJ is going to utilize some of the characters like Kylo Ren, Rey, Luke Skywalker, Lando, Leia, etc. Basically, all the different sequel trilogy characters as well as all the different legacy characters that will be a part of this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the characters of Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, and Rey. Now, specifically, a description of Rey dueling Kylo Ren in a lightsaber fight, where it's described that the environment around them appears to be shifting and changing through different environments in the Star Wars franchise. The next goes over Kylo Ren revealing a certain truth to Rey that causes her to go into a fit of rage, where it's said that she taps into the dark side of the Force temporarily. It's described that Rey begins to attack Kylo in a furious phase, where eventually it's said that the Force ghost voice of Luke Skywalker begins to guide her back to the light as she is fighting Kylo, and slowly shifts her away from turning of learning a certain and terrible truth by Kylo Ren. Additionally, it's described that also the voice of the Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker is said to be heard in the distance in a faint way, as she has a strange connection to the Skywalkers after repairing their saber. It's described to be a similar moment to when Luke Skywalker was in his X-Wing during the trench run when he hears Obi-Wan's voice guiding him in A New Hope. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this because we heard about something very similar a couple of weeks ago about Anakin Skywalker saving Rey and guiding her back to the light. It's somewhat connected to the same exact experience here, where Rey is hearing the Force ghost voice of Luke Skywalker. Now, one thing I will say is that we can already see the parallels that J.J. Abrams is trying to make, not just to Return of the Jedi, but also to Star Wars A New Hope. You know, how can you forget that iconic moment when Luke is in the trench run and he hears Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice, you know, telling him basically to believe in himself at the end of the day. You know, use the Force, you know, pretty much trust him, you know, do all that stuff. And now they're applying that idea to Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, where in this scenario, Rey is actually in a fit of rage. She's in a furious phase, if you will, going up against Kylo Ren, embracing the dark side of the Force temporarily, after learning of a certain truth by Kylo, where Luke Skywalker eventually tunes in and pretty much shifts her back to the light side of the Force and brings her back. So Luke saving Rey is very similar to what we have seen in some of the comics out there in the expanded universe. We've seen something very similar, you know, to this between other characters in the Star Wars franchise. So you could already see how Chris Terrio is tapping into Legends material. Now, one thing I will want to talk about right now is that I'm starting to wonder what terrible truth did Kylo Ren just reveal to Rey during the lightsaber duel within the third act of the film that makes her pretty much shift to the dark side of the Force temporarily? It does make one question, right? Could this have something to do with her parents? Could it have something to do with exactly who she is that Kylo Ren reveals? You know, the biggest question of all, I think, in The Force Awakens when we watch the movie is when that First Order officer tells Kylo Ren about Rey, Kylo Ren says, "What girl?" as if he knows or has heard about this girl before in the past. And there are a lot of missing pieces in The Force Awakens that are going to be explained in Star Wars Episode 9 in great detail by JJ and Chris. So that's one thing to look forward to. The other thing that really does just mind-boggle me is that Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost voice tuning in to pretty much, you know, save Rey and turn her back to the light side of the Force from darkness. It does make one wonder as to why Rey has a strange connection to the Skywalkers. We're talking about both Luke Skywalker and Anakin after repairing the Skywalker lightsaber. Why does she have a strange connection to those two characters after repairing it? You know, as you see in The Rise of Skywalker and its teaser trailer, you do see that the lightsaber looks somewhat different. It's got like a little band around it in the middle. Some people have even gone as far to say that it appears smaller. I'm not quite sure if it appears smaller. I might have to look at that again. But what I will say is this. is that her repairing the lightsaber, there is more to the story. We're going to be learning more about this in the movie, and that it's actually going to be quite significant, as J.J. Abrams has said, that there's going to be a lot of clues in this movie to unexplained, aspects of The Force Awakens that were not answered in The Last Jedi, so look forward to seeing that. I'm just hoping that J.J. Abrams is able to treat Luke Skywalker in a very great way that's going to really resonate with a lot of fans around the world, and that a lot of people are going to be satisfied. We do know that he's coming not just in the form of a Force ghost, but also in the form of flashbacks, where he, yes, will be alive, but alive in the past. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.